Good evening everyone and welcome to this extraordinary council meeting this evening. Tonight we have a special meeting to reflect on the terrible events that took place in Southport on the 29th of July 2024. Sefton will never forget the terrible events of the 29th. Those who lost their lives and their loved ones will remain in the forefront of our thoughts. Tonight we also offer reflection on the other aspects of what happened after the attack and the many acts of kindness, compassion, courage and solidarity which characterised the reaction. I am sure that all of you here will agree that the response to the attack was truly phenomenal, such as the response of the emergency services and the people going out of their way to help and care for their fellow citizens. This illustrates how Sefton came together in the face of such an atrocity. We have guests tonight to talk to us about the response, and I welcome them to the meeting. On behalf of the Council, I would like to extend my thanks to the first responders, heroes and helpers, and acknowledge all the offers of support received with condolences from county, borough and town councils throughout Britain and beyond. I would also like to thank the families for allowing myself, the Chief Executive and the Leader of the Council to attend the funerals of their little loved ones, and at least 2 of us have attended all 3 funerals. In relation to the King's visit, I wish to say how much the visit was appreciated by the families and by the communities to have him join us. But I also wish to acknowledge that while some may feel it was nice to meet the King, I think it's safe to show the gravity of the situation, and it was a shame that it was in such circumstances. Guest speakers tonight, we are very honoured to have the Chief Constable of Merseyside Police, Serena, with us tonight, together with Dave Mottram, the Merseyside Fire Services, and Ian Moses, who is yet to arrive, I think he's arriving, as guest speakers representing the emergency services. We are also delighted to welcome Natasha Sandland, Jenny Sefton and Ginny Payne, head teachers of Merseyside Primary, Farnborough Road and Town Primary Schools, who are in the public gallery. Welcome. May I firstly ask Serena, representing the emergency service, to address the council.
Thank you. Obviously, firstly, I just want to put on record our condolences to the families of Alice, Phoebe and Elsie. And our thoughts remain with them, their family, their friends, but also the family and friends of the little girls and adults who were injured on those terrible events during the 29th of July. I'd obviously like to commend the first responders from across the emergency services, but also those brave members of the public who responded on the 29th of July. And also put on record recognising the excellent work across the partnership and our communities working together in the days after the terrible events of the 29th of July, and then that terrible, disgusting, violent and racist behaviour that we saw on our streets on the 30th of July. As I said at the time, that does not recognise the communities of Southport, and we didn't identify that behaviour at all, and also those events that then spread across Merseyside. But I just want to put on record my thanks for the kindness, the care and the compassion that's been shown to my officers and staff who worked that week and continue to work now right across Southport, and also those blue light responders. We had a little boy who spent his pocket money buying sweets and drinks for my officers and staff, and he used his toy tractor to go up and down the street and distribute those drinks and sweets to my officers. We were absolutely overwhelmed with the amount of gifts that we received for our officers and staff in at Southport Police Station. I know the same for colleagues from North West Ambulance Service and also Merseyside Fire and Rescue Service. The police station, having left the police station on the evening of the 30th of July and watching my officers and staff being brought in with severe injuries, I have to say it's one of the worst moments of my career. But revisiting it several days later and seeing the amount of cards and best wishes and flowers that had been dropped off by members of the public was truly, truly heartwarming. And I have to say we probably got enough treats for our dog section to keep us going until Christmas. So I really do think that we demonstrated to Southport, to the region, to the nation and also internationally the very best of the community spirit here in Southport. Thank you.
Thank you. I would now like to invite members of the Council and all those present at our meeting tonight to stand, if you are able to, and join me in a moment of quiet reflection dedicated to the memory of those who lost their lives on the 29th of July. As we remember Elsie Dot, Phoebe and Alice. Thank you. Agenda item 2 to reflect on the tragic events that took place in Southport on the 29th of July. I now call upon the Leader of the Council, Councillor Atkinson, to move the motion set out on the Council agenda and to speak in support of the motion.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Our thoughts go to the families of Alice, Elsie Dot and Phoebe. Please know our hearts and prayers are with you now and will stay with you in the future. There are no words that can ease your pain. The feelings you have are raw. It is time that is needed to process your thoughts and feelings. As a community, we must and will give you that time. As the Mayor said, I would also like to thank the families for allowing myself, the Chief Executive and the Mayor to attend the services and celebration of life of your daughters. It was an absolute honour. The love, thought and detail that went into them with the outpouring of love that I witnessed, you certainly done them proud. Our thoughts are also with the families who were injured and who attended and those directly impacted. Please know, whatever decisions we make as a council will be led by you all. We will listen to your requests and you have our commitment. Where we can, we will accommodate your needs. I would like to thank those emergency service workers who were first responders for their bravery and professionalism and for their ongoing support to our community in the days and weeks that followed. To those members of the community, including businesses, our faith leaders and voluntary sector organisations who continue to offer support, help and give guidance to those who need it. To those volunteers who arranged the flowers, looked after the gifts that were left, and those who organised and are continuing to organise community events such as the vigil that was held the following night to bring a closer bond with each other, and of course the Swifties Bubbles Blow Kiss to Heaven event the following Monday. To the schools who have shown such compassion and professionalism and continue to work with us to ensure that support that is needed is widely available, and their kind words and emails to the Chief Executive about their experience working with us. Thank you. From Sefton Council, we will continue to facilitate and enable your efforts. Thank you to our staff here at Sefton Council who have and continue to work with the community. Those from our comms team, neighbourhoods teams, Invest Sefton Service, Children's Services, Adult Services, and every department within this organisation has played their part. I would also like to thank councillors from all parties who have given support in a variety of different ways. My ask through this motion is for the council to commit to us being led by the families. We must listen to what they want, and most importantly, when they want it. We must agree that this is about them, their loss and their needs, and in doing so, allowing the professionals within the organisations dedicated to them to give support to them in whatever way we can. Madam Mayor, I move this motion.
Thank you. I now call upon Councillor Prendergast to second the motion.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On behalf of the Conservative group on Sefton Council, I want to extend my deepest condolences and sympathies to the families of all the victims and all those injured in the horrendous attack on 29th July. There are no words that I or anyone else can say really that will ever begin to ease the grief and suffering of the families who have lost so much. Any parent knows that your children are the centre of your universe and everything you do revolves around them. And to have that cruelly taken away from you is beyond comprehension. As a father myself, I cannot begin to imagine what they are all going through, and no parent should ever have to deal with the circumstances that the families now face. They're in the thoughts and prayers of many, and my heart goes out to all of them. I wish to place on record my profound gratitude to all the members of our emergency services who responded so bravely, to all the police officers, members of the fire brigade, paramedics, air ambulance crews, and all of the many NHS staff across the region. We owe an immeasurable debt of gratitude. Many members of the public also rushed towards the danger to heroically protect those being attacked and provide aid and support in the immediate aftermath, and they continue to support their communities. They all ran towards peril to protect others, not thinking of themselves, but only what they could do to help others. They showed us the best of humanity when faced with what had been inflicted by the worst. As a town, we responded with a huge outpouring of emotional support, everyone wanting to do something to help. Laying flowers, fundraising, offering support to one another, all to allay the feelings of shock and bewilderment at what had happened. Around 90,000 people live in Southport, yet within 2 or 3 connections, pretty much everyone in Southport knows everybody else. It's a village masquerading as a town, a community of people who always want to help in whatever way possible. Southport came together at the vigil held at the Atkinson, with thousands attending to pay their respects and listening to the words of local faith leaders. Local businesses and residents continue to show unwavering support, providing help and comfort wherever possible, as well as the support being provided by the local authority to all involved. Whilst this tragedy has profoundly impacted our entire town, we must remember that it is the families who bear the heaviest burden. Their lives have been irrevocably changed by the loss of their loved ones. We grieve with them and honour the memory of those taken from us. A chorus of angels sing from heaven. We hear them and we will remember them always. Madam Mayor, I second the motion.
Thank you. I now wish to invite Councillor Pugh to support the motion.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Of course, reiterate condolences to the families and all the many thanks that have been put so eloquently by previous speakers. I have very little to add to the flood of thoughts and reflections that followed the tragic events of July 29th. when what we take to be normality in wild everyday existence turned into something devastating and quite unreal, except of course it was real. It was every family's worst nightmare, the death of children, not just death, but brutal premeditated murder. And all of us now struggle to even imagine the extent of trauma and grief caused. We can't. But none of us fails to recognise the tragic and arbitrary blow fate has dealt to those directly involved, and we stand in awe of the dignity and fortitude of the bereaved families and those injured. But we also shiver inwardly when we realise that below everyone's mundane daily life can lie the abyss. No one knowingly left their child in harm's way that day. But in truth, despite the efforts of newspaper pundits, analysts and commentators on these events, the savage events of July 29th tell us little about our community's problems, but much about the fragility of human existence and mankind's propensity to evil. What does speak volumes about our community is the support the bereaved and the affected families have received from so many. What does speak volumes about our community is the bold resistance of the community to attempts to turn a tragedy into a political and racist conflict. What does speak volumes about our community is the selfless efforts of the emergency services and others to deal with the shocking aftermath. Unfortunately, Southport, for some time to come now, will be globally associated with these awful events, like Dunblane and Manderley. But in the third world, it should be memorable for its community response. We should be proud of Southport, proud of our community. Unlike many generations, we don't expect and don't know quite how to deal with the death of children. And yet Sefton has seen its share of violent tragedy in the past. Most can still recall the case of James Bulger. Few will recall the case of Michael Moss, kicked to death in the playing fields of Lidland by other children while in our care. The loss of children, as has been said, is the hardest blow, precisely because of what children bring miraculously to this world. Hope, energy, imagination, innocence, a new perspective, and a capacity for joy. These features are not entirely lacking in the outer world, or in a simple company perhaps, but they're certainly in short supply. And the loss of children reminds us acutely of what children actually bring to the world and what the world probably badly needs. There was an impressive memorial tribute outside of Princess Diana's Fountain, which itself is a memorial to a tragedy. But in time, memories can fade, flowers can fade, and indeed the masonry and fabric has already faded. But we can have, I think, and I hope we will have some time, a permanent memorial of loss, which will also be a constant reminder, a positive reminder, a celebration of the joy children can bring. And at a future date, it would be good to hear the sounds of children happily playing, performing, mixing in a safe and hopefully flourished environment at the heart of our town, in the front of our town hall. In the last few months, it's actually proved a natural and necessary purpose and gathering place, and every town should have one. And perhaps, in a way, that underlines what is the central mission of this council: to cherish, celebrate, and champion the gifts that our children endow this world with. The tragedy of July and its aftermath is for all of us, though, a reminder there's much work still to be done.
Thank you. I now seek the unanimous approval of the council to the motion. Is that agreed?
Agreed.
I believe that was unanimous, and I declare that the motion is carried. That concludes the business of this extraordinary meeting. I'd like to thank all our guests for their attendance and thank those who contributed towards tonight's meeting. There will now be a short break and the opening meeting of the council will commence at 6:30. Thank you.